Welcome into the crease. And obviously, before we get into all that good hockey talk we're going to be hitting here soon, I want to give a big shout out to one of our affiliates and sponsors, and that is Dubby. If you are after a energy supplement that doesn't give you any jitter, but all the mental focus you need to, I don't know, do schoolwork, do this podcast like I'm on right now, go to work and be focused, sports, they got hydration stuff too. Go to w.gg, use our code, THEHOUSECALL, all caps, that's THEHOUSECALL, to get yourself 10% off your order. Also, they got a killer deal going on right now where if you add one energy supplement tub and a hydration supplement tub, you can get the hydration supplement tub for free. That's right, a 30-serving hydration tub for free, people. Go to w.gg, use our code to get 10% off your order and get that hydration tub for free. The link will be in the description as well as our code. Be sure to check that out. Now, the Washington Capitals and the Vegas Golden Knights, who are both holding on for dear life.
Indeed.
For the final wildcard spots in the Eastern and Western Conference.
Playing right now, their game with St. Louis just dropped the puck. That matchup is crucial for anybody that is a hockey fan. I know this isn't live, but hockey fans should be tuned into this one because right now, as it stands in the playoff race, Vegas is clinging on with 83 points in the second wildcard spot. St. Louis is the team right below them with 79. This matchup is absolutely crucial.
It really, really is. And the craziest thing is their schedule is not favorable down the stretch. I mean, they have 11 or 12 games left. They have the St. Louis Blues, who we just talked about, are right behind them. The Nashville Predators, the
Nashville
Winnipeg
looks like
Jets.
the best team in the league right now, too.
Then they have the Wild, and that's just to close out March. And then you go into April. First game of April on the 2nd, the Canucks. They get the Coyotes. Then they get the Canucks again. Then they get the Oilers. Then they get the Wild. Then they get the Avalanche. And then they round out their last two games with the Blackhawks and the Ducks. So like 3 of their 12 games are going against non-playoff opponents. Everybody else has a shot or isn't.
They absolutely cannot lose to the Coyotes, the Blackhawks, or the Ducks, or they might be toast. I mean, you look at it, like you said, that schedule isn't favorable at all. Blues right on their heels. Predators are the hottest team in the league, I believe, at 14-0-2 right now in their last 16 games. They've been unbelievable. The Jets, tapering off a little bit. You have to steal the game against the Winnipeg Jets. Absolutely have to steal a game. Winnipeg's down right now. They're in a bit of a slump. You have to have that game. Wild are out of the playoff spot. They are at 77 points, so they're not out of it either. Like, the Wild need that game too, in retrospect, if you look at it.
Yeah, they're only 2 back of the Blues, and they're only, I think, 6 back of the Knights. So
they're in it, and they're not gonna give up on that. And that, like you
Absolutely
said,
not.
I don't know if you beat you have to win against Arizona in Arizona. You have to steal one of those games against Vancouver or win a game against the Oilers. You have to beat for the Vegas Golden Knights to make the playoffs. They have to win 3 or 4 of these games, and I just don't know if they can do it. They're so injured right now. Mark Stone is out for the remainder of the regular season. With the additions of Hannafin and Mantha will help. Jack Eichel, I don't know if he's 100%. Carlson's hurt. Shea Theodore's been hurt in and out of the lineup this year. They're just injured, man. They are injured all over the board, and it's not favorable. I've seen this story before back in 2022 when Dallas knocked them out towards the end of the year, and they'll battle, they'll grind, and they'll fight their way, and it'll be a fight to the end, but it's dire right now in the Sin City.
It sure is, and they are in a bad spot. Like I said, we've been waiting for them to get healthy all year. It seems like it's just not going to happen, and I feel like even if they make the playoffs right now, it's going to be a bad news situation for them, like a no-win-win. They're going to have to go on the road, play in a hard, tough environment. I mean, honestly, to me, I don't see a way that they really do hold on. Like you said, this game tonight that's obviously airing as we're recording this episode against the Blues, if they lose that game, which we'll find out after this is posted, you'll be able to go and check that out for sure. And you'll already know by the time you watch this. That'll tell you everything you need to know about the Knights' chances. Because at that point, they're only 2 points ahead of the Blues. If they lose outright. If they lose in overtime, they're only, what, 5 points ahead of them? Like, that's not, or 3 points ahead of them? That's not good.
Exactly. It's not favorable for them. And like we brought up earlier, the schedule, excellent point by you. It's not favorable for them. They have to go. They don't just have to fight an uphill battle. They have to fight an uphill battle against the class of the league. So for them, it's do or die time in Vegas, 100%. But let's transition over to Washington, because maybe if you go ahead and look at their schedule, Joe, I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, I have it up here. I just want to give one more thing here. Just FYI, like we said, the Blues are right on their tail. The Blues schedule here, just before we transition, has Calgary, the Sharks. That's to close out March. The Oilers, the Preds, the Sharks, the Ducks, the Blackhawks, the Canes, the Kraken, and the Stars. They play like 4 or 5 playoff teams, and the other 6 or 7 are not even in the conversation anymore. The Blues have a way easier road. If they get the win tonight, the Blues are in the playoffs for sure. I just don't see a way with the way those two schedules contrast there. I don't like it for the Golden Knights. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the Capitals, and I'm going to give you a rundown on the Capitals schedule. They are going to close out March. They just beat the Jets in the 3-0.
Thank you, Washington. Thank you.
They now have the Red Wings, who are a point behind them. Then they have the Leafs in Toronto. They come home for Boston. That's how they close out March. They start April in Buffalo. Come home for Pittsburgh. At Carolina. Home for the Senators. In Detroit. At Buffalo again. Home for the Lightning. And the Bruins again. And then away for the Flyers.
That's not the easiest schedule, but it's doable.
It is doable, but I mean, they're facing, I think I count maybe 3 or 4 games where they're facing a team that's not in the playoffs right now. Everybody else has locked up their spot. Like, I mean, hopefully, their one hope is that they sweep the Red Wings. They have to win both of those games, and they hope that, Boston and Tampa are resting heading into the final week of hockey.
They have to. That's their only hope. You mind if I make a schedule prediction for the rest of the Capitals season?
Go for it.
So, Red Wings, drop that one. They go to Toronto. They'll win that. They go home against Boston. Toronto, that's the thing about Toronto. I'm not high on them because they tend to drop a game they shouldn't. And with the Capitals fighting for their lives, the Leafs are going to go into that game feeling complacent, especially since it's at home. Bruins, they'll lose that one. They'll win against the Sabres. Pens Capitals on April 4th will be must-watch because the Pens are pretty much out of it right now. But wouldn't they love to knock out one of their most hated rivals, knock them out of the playoffs? That'll be must-watch TV. I've got the Caps winning that one, though, in a close one. That one might go to OT. Caps Hurricanes. Hurricanes are going to win that one. Caps are going to beat the Senators. Caps are then going to go on the road to Detroit and beat the Red Wings. They'll beat the Sabres. They'll lose to the Lightning, beat the Bruins, and then they'll lose to the Flyers to close out the regular season. And my prediction is they'll make the playoffs by 1 point over Detroit because of that last win on April 9th.
Man, that is a hell of a prediction. And just to be clear, the Lightning themselves, they're in a playoff spot right now. They're only, I think if I'm looking at this correctly, they're only 6 points ahead of the Capitals right now. They're only 7 points ahead of the Red Wings, and they're only 10 points ahead of the Islanders, who are in 4th right now in that wild card spot. So I mean, this is going to be a tight race. I mean, the Buffalo Sabres, the Devils, the Islanders, and the Red Wings are all still very much alive in this wild card chase here. I mean, the Sabres are only 6 points back of the Capitals going in. So this is actually
goaltending.
Yeah, a super, super tight race. I mean, I'm looking at the schedules right now. The Lightning, to close out March, will face the Bruins and the Islanders. That's to close out March. And then they got the Red Wings, the Leafs, the Canadiens, the Penguins, the Blue Jackets, the Senators, the Capitals, the Sabres, and then the Leafs again. So their schedule's pretty easy. Detroit is an interesting one as well. They have to finish out the season. They're going to face the Capitals, which we've already said, the Canes, and then the Panthers to close out March, which is a rough March.
Yeah.
And then they have the Lightning, the Rangers, the Sabres, the Capitals, the Penguins, the Leafs, and then they do a back-to-back with the Canadiens to round out the season. So
I've got a question for you after you finish your point, Joe.
Yeah. So there is a lot that is going to happen in this last, just under a month of hockey, these 12 games, 11 games, whatever it may be. The Capitals have a game or 2 games in hand on everybody. They have 2 games in hand on the Devils and Sabres, who only have 10 games remaining this year. They have a game in hand on the Islanders, the Wings, and the Lightning, who all have 11 games remaining this year. So they're in an okay spot, but this is a tight race. You slip once, you could find yourself going from in playoff contention to being 2 or 3 spots back, depending on how the night finishes. That's just the story of what the Eastern Conference is right now in the wild card. So
100%.
If I had to pick on which one I feel better about making the playoffs, I don't know. I mean, I look at the Golden Knights' health and I'm like, man, that's terrible. But then I look at some of the teams that are chasing the Capitals right now, and I know Larkin just got healthy for the Red Wings. He's back on the ice. And so they're starting to get healthy right now. They could make a charge. We were just talking about some of the goaltending the Sabres are getting right now. They could make a run. They're only 6 points back. There is a lot of shuffling. There's a possibility. It's a long shot. But there is a way that the Lightning and Capitals, by the time this is all said and done, neither of them make the playoffs.
There is, but I don't think Washington presents as big a danger to the Lightning or the Red Wings as they do the Flyers. Because If you look at the standing, the Flyers are 2 points ahead of Washington. If Washington wins their next game and the Flyers don't, Washington has 2 games in hand. They would jump Philly, and Philly would now be in that second wild card spot.
And they'd be tied at
81 points.
Race.
Now, you want to talk about drama. I looked at the Flyers' schedule. Guess who they closed the regular season out with?
Is it the Capitals?
That is the last game of both teams' regular seasons, and if it comes down to that one, that game will be so must-watch TV. April 16th is a day. If this comes down to the wire, April 16th is a day to mark on your calendar for hockey fans, just because that matchup could decide who's going to the playoffs. It should be amazing hockey. It'll be a playoff game. It'll be like a game 7 because both teams are going to be fighting for their lives. Philly's kind of slipping. Washington's hot right now. The crazy scenario here would be if Washington and Detroit made the playoffs. Washington is the 3rd in the Metro. Detroit is the 2nd wild card, and Philly dropped out. What drama would that create?
Oh my God, that would be all on the final night. Could you imagine?
On the final
night of hockey, the Flyers go from hosting a playoff game to not even being in the playoffs. Wow. That would be insane.
Yeah, that would be unbelievable. And it would stink for the Flyers. It wouldn't necessarily stink for the Flyers. It would stink for their fans. But, the Flyers have overachieved this year in terms of team success just because they're supposed to be in a rebuild. They won't be this good next year. But hockey players aren't going to just lose games on purpose.
You're not wrong.
So that'll be must watch. When is that? What day is it today? It's the 25th. So maybe 3.5 weeks from now. That's going to be amazing hockey to watch. That'll be like the playoffs before the playoffs.
Oh, for sure.
Should be an unreal game.
That place is going to be bumping. That place is going to be packed. That is going to be an absolute must-watch in Philly.
Where are they playing it? They're playing it
in Philly.
Wells Fargo said that place is going to be so loud.
Oh, it's going to be nuts.
I hope they stay neck and neck. I hope they're tied in points when it comes down to it at that game, just so that's the winner-take-all game. That game would be amazing.
That is going to be an absolute madhouse on April 16th at 7 p.m. in Philly for who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. I hope that's how it ends. I hope that's how it goes down. I really, really do. This has been a must-watch hockey season, and outside of the little hiccups here and there, we've gotten, as hockey fans, we've gotten a lot of good hockey. We've gotten a lot of good hockey news. We've got a lot of updates that we feel very happy about. I mean, we've seen a great rookie class. We're getting a hell of a finish to some of these wild card races down the stretch here. We're about to see one of the best Hart Trophy races we have seen in a long, long time. We're about to see two guys who have a shot at making history from a goals and assist standpoint, Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid. We have seen a rookie class absolutely outperform what we thought they would, and this is all before the Stanley Cup playoffs even start. I cannot wait, but unfortunately we have to. It's 3.5 weeks away, but that is all we have time for today on The Crease. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out w@w.gg. The link in the description of that will be down in the description of this video, as well as our code. That is THEHOUSECALL, all caps, THEHOUSECALL. It'll be down in the description of this video as well. Be sure to check out all of our other affiliates on our link tree. You can go to our website. The link will be down in the description of this video, so you can use that website. Our affiliate links there take you to our link tree, shows all of our affiliates. You can check all those out. That includes Lids, sportsmemorabilia.com, as well as a bunch and slew of others, including Vivid Seats and StubHub for all your sports ticketing needs. Be sure to check us out on all of our platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is also known as X, depending on where you're from and how old you are, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, all that and more. Check out all of our other segments as well as part of the House Call. You can see all of those under this channel on YouTube on our other House Call offerings. And we'll see you next time here on The Crease.